Hi everyone. I have 2 or 3 things that I need to bring forth, but most importantly I think I'll start with because we are in such an imbalance with the aspects of our whole self, and that is showing in our world. So our whole self being, we are an interior spiritual being with a soul, and that's eternal. And we don't integrate that into our minds in what has been the 3D physical world takeover of our spirits. And so I want us to just, if you want to join with me for a moment, I want to walk you through some aspects you may not forget. So you take a breath. The aim is balance. We are in this world, but there is an exterior and there is an interior. There is a whole world to be involved in, but there is also your own world to be involved in. The imbalance is we've invited the exterior in on all different levels of our chakra conscious awareness, which is our interaction and integration of ourselves in this world. So we have varying imbalances and discrepancies with mind, heart, body, and soul. It's all over the place. But there are those of us, souls here now, integrating this balance. So you take that breath and you exhale the world. Anything and everything. A soothing, soft, calm, but a strong drawing in, acknowledging as the description of that breath is the interior world building that never leaves. And you're going to give it oxygen, recognition, calm, peace, because it needs your awareness. Now, the main point is, with the discrepancy and imbalance, is we associate our being with our 2 eyes. And they have gotten really, like, the only word I can think of is zombified or hypnotized via it's all out there. Okay, so much so that it has become like that. We can see that in some beings. And in that nature, they can interact and attract with various controlling energies that assists that kind of growth of energy. So we humbly accept we live in this imbalanced world, and that it is controlled by our two eyes being like glued to wanting an external reality and forgetting the interior feelings that are part of our divine nature, part of our wholeness coming to light and life. And we give up on what we once might have started to get to know as an interior world, due to giving over our interior world, power and resource, to the outside. So you can look at your whole self, for example, anyone, as though the exterior world you've allowed in, you've believed, you've looked, you've decided, and your energy is focusing in the current climate of energy. Okay, we've all done this to some extent, and it is a summary, but when you sit back in the quiet of your chest and contemplate this consciousness, you could perhaps feel into yourself, your energy, sitting in nature, enjoying a cold or hot drink, just letting the world go, because in our exhale we breathe the world out. So you don't have to be in a meditative position, appearance or state. It's simply stopping. I'm going to feed me. And me is that softer but strong, determined breath connection of my wholeness where it's meant to be. And in that relaxing in nature, sitting anywhere, any form that slows you down into that, I have another place in this world. It is not all outside of me. It is not all in what I do. I need to be. So we have focused on breathing in life. If you've ever relaxed into any meditation or calmed down stress, as though it's just the lungs, like it comes through the chest, but it's the lungs that we're connecting with. But when I take an internal breath now with that soft, which is the slowing down of the physical person on all the layers, the soft, strong, determined, that exhale is coming from my soul as well, which is supporting and feeding my heart. So it wants to help me exhale the world, and it wants to come in and be present. So the more we can clear the mind and do that through that, it's not a job to clear the mind. It's not ego, I've got to do something. It is simply through the acceptance. And you can pause for as long as what starts to feel a natural flow for you, to get present, embody the breath, be thankful for the breath, want to feed your whole levels and layers, your whole being that you can't see. That's the thing. The ego will try and take you out to what you remember with the two eyes, what you've been doing with the two eyes, what you've experienced with the two eyes. But that's not the whole of our being. We need to feed the whole of our being. Instead of the hypnotized, it's all out there exterior. And this is why we have a lot going on, which will bring me to my next point soon. But let's just get into that space. Now it's quieter. Acknowledge. Few exhales may ground you. Sometimes that's all I need because I've done enough in-breaths, whatever I'm doing in life. And then I just know that I may feel an imbalance of carrying too much of the external, whatever it is. My eyes looking at something, my concentration too hard on something, people in my atmosphere, energy, people, energy, we can't see. You feel it. Now, that's where you can get honest with what you can't see, but you acknowledge your energy. It speaks. It's your soul. It directs you in ways that humans don't. We have an exterior, we direct ourselves here and there, we subconsciously know how to do things. That's our human. But we are a soul. Okay, this is where so much clearing can get done with some education. And I'll get to that in a second. You really want to allow yourself to ground. Now, over time, that's an acknowledgement that you actually hold a space of who you are. You're not just the body in appearance. You'll connect with this energy that you are. And it is the joyful person you are. You will feel that energy as you sit, because we are light beings, souls in spiritual embodiment. So you're allowed to feel somewhat naturally your natural, true spirit being. Meditation is not a serious, have I achieved something? It's let go of the exterior. So the important thing here is let go of the exterior. Now, that's not, obviously, not balanced if one thinks, I have to feel this good on a permanent basis. No, that's why you're coming home, acknowledging this. that's why there is that dual dance. Okay, but it can be balanced. It gets out of hand when we don't tell the overactive mind, which turns into ego demands on ourselves, and we feel like that's more natural, then stepping back and saying, well, actually, this is not balance. And you really recognize that once you start to embody your spiritual form, once you come back to this, because you're filling up with clarity your true space. And when that becomes more of an embodiment, like you don't want anything else but to feel it, because it's your whole embodiment. So the external strong aims for achievement start to get some air in them, because we put a heavy focus on our spirits out there, and the soul doesn't end up coming through as much because we've got our head in what's already created and continuing. And that's where it's like the material world easily took on hypnosis of us, because we all start to become like, well, the more I get done out there, the more I am. Or, you know, along those lines, the harder I work, the longer I work, the more I get done, the more I am. But it's exterior. If that is the imbalanced objective, okay, that outside is everything. And sometimes it takes people, perhaps soul tribe, perhaps other parts of your tribes, either pushing you or drawing you in to say, it's spirit in motion. It's the whole design of our energetic beings being here, saying that route's not for you. Oh, but this, I'm attracted to something new or different, etc., etc., because it's not all linear, full force achievement. Okay, we've become achieving beings, material world risen to king, everyday life suffering, relationships, health, spiritual, inspirational embodiment through different choice, raising our vibration and expanding our lives, ourselves, therefore having a good effect on the energy atmosphere of the planet. So it takes a keen eye, inner knowledge of oneself, inner knowledge of how we're designed, and acknowledgement in observation of how we're using it, and our design, which is now going to bring me to, I highly recommend Carolyn Mace's website, cmed.com, for the, I guess you would call it application, or it is a quiz or survey, however you like to describe it, called Chi. Chakra and Health Integrated Inventory. And Carolyn Mace is a medical intuitive amongst many other soul parts of her being. But at the core, medical intuitive awakened her whole system, soul. And so when I speak about this imbalance and how it affects all of our life and the design we are, that's what the 20-minute questionnaire, that's the word I was looking for, asked you to be honest with yourself. Takes approximately 20 minutes. Currently $28 US. I think it might be staying that. It's at a reduced price because we need it. And it's updated for this moment. And so it will help you to understand, give you clear insight for the very fact that we are spiritual beings. So when we have health issues or anything energetically to do with relation, it is going to speak to how you are functioning. So when we think health crisis or relationship crisis, we need to think spiritual crisis. Because things don't manifest in form unless we got stuff going on in our own use, unconscious and conscious, trying to get that balanced awareness of this interplay. And so I highly recommend that. I actually, apart from, assistance that we generally get, we need to look at our spirit and answer these things for ourselves with this kind of help. But like Caroline mentions on her website, it's not to take away other medical advice. But we are coming into the wholeness of ourselves, and this is what's needed. It is assistance with intuitive response and awareness for you to grow in that way. Okay, because things get better a hell of a lot quicker sometimes when we just go straight to the truth of it, instead of trying to dig in what's already been created in understanding, which is fine, but there's still always going to be more to the unique soul's individual path. So it's going to help you with that, essentially. Because the last thing I wanted to, what instigated this, talking about this in various ways, is just as I mentioned in my recent video, that for decades now, as a young person into an adult, I question this world's responses to like third world issues, even in our own backyards at home where it's not so distraught in front of us, but things are going on. So too medical research. And so for my soul, my spirit has always been affected in a way that said, okay, so this is brought to my attention. So I want to use breast cancer awareness research. And so there's different charities and supportive of research institutes that ask for donations. That has been going on for quite a while, as to much other cancer research as well. So I want to directly bring your attention back to the fact that you're a spirit And if your spirit is feeling disharmonious and it's manifested in physical form, we need to open up the truth that we are energy, okay? Because it's manifested into physical form because of something that's going on emotionally, mentally. And I mean, take a look at us. Like, every day of our lives, our energy goes through so much experience. And if we've invited and felt committed to the external as the answers for all our resource, we're opening that up now to say, all the answers aren't out there from what has created, being created, and we don't seem to have answers for. So you can directly go to your consciousness system of the chakras, okay? And so sitting with breast cancer awareness in the development of understanding it to any aspect, in any respect, it is the heart chakra location. That's not to say it all started there, but it is the center of our true to ourselves expression. So, and down through all the layers of our hard work influence in the world as like beings, and it's women, we sit in front of screens, artificial screens, much in the day. So the simple things right up to other aspects of the heart consciousness need to be looked at. Okay, so it is truly an obvious one that because we are energy, we are, the screen artificial light is penetrating. So if you don't take that simple step of getting a cover for that, or, you know, doing something about that, and you are someone that is subjected to that often, and our phones, with the rise of phones and the size of them, and our fingers interacting at such close proximity as well, this is an awareness to hold. So you do something about that. The other things are toxic substances put at the pores of our skin, under our armpits. We do that without thinking about it. And it blocks stuff there. So it's blocking circulation. So toxins can build up in the physical form. So, but with the breast cancer, it could have been a discrepancy in other areas that were blocked. So then as you grow, there's still an energy there where some expression may not feel free to happen. So this is why it's nice to come back to the truth of what the chakra consciousness makes us aware of. And then you have that time spent to let go of the external world and allow the play in the mind, not with the ego, because you're letting go of the external world, that opens you up to these different questions that that questionnaire will ask you to confront in some ways. And you go easy on yourself through your layers of awareness of your being. And it may be questions that open you up and get insight from a different chakra. So something to do with relationships perhaps, or something to do with self-expression, where you might feel various things like the mind and the spirit interplay says, I never felt good enough to be able to do that, right? So a question might be, Is there anything you feel like you're holding back on to please others? And sometimes these things really get stuck in our identity. Now, to be honest, I haven't done Caroline's questionnaire, but I will. But I have full trust in her because I've followed her for about 15 years now. Books, workshops, because we connect. There's not something I listen to where I don't go, I understand where she's coming from, etc. And it's all about my soul in expanse. It's not it's all of give and receive of the heart chakra. It's expanding the soul. And so too, that's how I connect with any other teachers of truth inspired works for our human spiritual soul paths. So it's all these things, and I can't highlight enough how we can hide things in our energy field that we don't think are important. And for women, they have been known for a while now to put others first before themselves. So it's almost like, and a lot of us have come here at this time to shift these things, this energy in the feminine, that have said we are just mothers of big families, and anything else underlying in us, we push that to the side because born into this world, we are only this role. And that's not true. It's crushing of the soul. They crush their soul. Okay? Sometimes very fulfilled and will have other creative endeavors, and they will find that balance. But a lot of the times, and with the masculinity that has operated in the kind of like, if the women have been told or thought to be this, then the masculinity has been out of balance as well, because we're souls. We don't have particular determined roles for being on earth. You must have and you must do. And that's where we're going to realize that in this light awareness shift. The masculine has become overpowering, making the feminine feel more and more like that is their roles in various aspects of life and systems and everything appearing so stuck in place needs more Aquarian era flow. So consciousness is what will shift that, of actually realizing, believing, understanding from our experience of embodying our souls. So yeah, the heart chakra allows us to expand more into the softness of the feminine. So you take your time out, you play with, you allow the contemplation of various questions to open your spirit up to expanding consciousness. And then there is action associated with that. So you are therefore going to have to realize the embodiment now of taking your soul forth and taking care of your spirit so that it doesn't start to feel crushed down into particular roles or performance levels associated with what's been created on this planet that puts everything toward out there materialism. Certain people come first, doesn't matter what's going on there, flow. We need to open our and stay honest to our realizations, and then you're going to have that action where you bring it. you embody it. And if that seems difficult, the only real answer to that, the medicine for it, is what I started this video with. You embodying your whole self. Like, that's who I am, so I must take it forward. Like, this is actually what I cannot see with two eyes, but I know and have contemplated in feelings and awareness of my life and the planet and my relationships and how everything is integrated in this way and plays this part. I have to be true to myself. And once you start doing that, you can't go back, because you just know you're meant to have done what you've done. You're just like, there is no way in the world I would go and keep doing that again. And I see how it played a part there. So once you start having this consciousness, awareness, dialogue in motion, you get into that flow, and it is fulfilling soul force contentment. And that's what I want you to know. And that's what we're going to be doing. And that's what I'm here for. To expand awareness as a sharer of teachings and open to learning all this world has to offer. And if we were truly healthy, that's what we'd all be doing. We are open to learning what this world has to offer. That we notice when we may think we know everything, unless it's coming from a higher flow resonance truth that's just like, that's exactly the moment. Notice when you are actually blocking yourself off, and let that quieten down just for the moment. And take a breath, because the masculine can do that in male or females. And just take a breath. And in that breath, you've made space, and you might learn something. Okay, that's what we're here for. It's not, I'm not here to learn anything else, and I've studied this, and I know this, and I've made it, and I have this position. There is nothing else, and anything at all like this. That's not there for any of us. Not no president, not no leader, not no anything. Because we're eternal souls. So like on planet Earth, there is no, I've made it, come to me for everything. Because if that person at the top can't also expand awareness for new, it's like not one person is the one that's going to be relied upon. Okay, because that person is the same as that person. It's still a person. Soul expansion. Light expansion. And that's how we bring balance to ourselves and the world. With the presence of my whole self and unlimited resource, I hold that space. So at any time, I will hold that space, like more consciously, in presence, and allow anything that I am flowing with into anything at all at any time. At times, what I'm going through, I won't be able to do it right then and there in the moment, because perhaps an emotion is there to be dealt with, channeled out for health, and allowed space through now my sitting back. And allow again. This can be done, the allowance part, with eyes open, but it's when we let emotional or mental exterior world come in, or it has to for some reason for us to see it, and you can still be in your allowing space, but you just got to know what that is. It's not just the physical human with that identity. There is always solution. We are not just physical beings punching it out, push forward, same, punch it out, time's done, okay, same, go do the same things. When we come across obstacles, mastering ourselves means okay, I'm experiencing this emotion, this kind of thing's been done, etc. Allow space. So my guides are with me up until the moment, and they are right there with you as well. It's your awareness acknowledgement in the energy of your whole self. I want to know if there's anything else I am able to bring through with all I've discussed. Anything else of a higher nature that relates or is relatable to what I do not know, essentially, because it's the vast energy field. Like, I can receive via vast soul experience higher information that assists things that I don't have to be intricately aware of, because we're energy. And so frequency and message through frequency hits in all different levels, layers, and aspects of all of our beings. Like I was saying, I love listening to certain teachers, and I feel and connect and live out more of myself. So too, this is essentially what we're all doing. But some souls are here to do that as central to their being. Up until the moment, take care. of yourselves in the quiet. It needs your attention now. That's where you will embody initially. Unrecognizable to the outside and even to yourself, the journey isn't to be seen with two eyes initially. There's a connection with your soul to the other side. The unseen realm of yourself. The more you can fall into an acceptance that you are more and everything is more than just what you're seeing. If you can do that in the quiet, you'll be amazed at your being. You'll be amazed at your being. You will create a landing pad for yourself of much to receive. Much light, love, law. The law of the universe. You've created the landing space for all you wish, for all you endeavor within, wanting to experience. You must create the landing pad opening through these layers of your being. And you will fulfill and get up with more inspiration and excitement for living your dream. Your dream is you in unfoldment. This has had its delay. No more for soul beings on this planet. Opening at great lengths. Breadth, expanse. Width in all dimensions. Acceptance in. Expanse. Is there any other further questions to answer in the field? So beyond this time and space, the dimensions we all are, Is there any questions that need answering right now? Okay, let me make myself clear, guides. For now, I'd like to finish this particular video at the hour. So any questions in the field that I can respond to over the course of the next 10 minutes, which I'm sure we could cover a lot. Because that's the speed of light. That whomever's open, listening, will receive, even questions they haven't posed in a sentence or statement to themselves. But it is underlying in their forward-moving space of questioning life. I know as I started to receive and clear my throat then, there is lots of questions. We don't need to elaborate on the question unless they suggest. It's the answer that will speak through any form I take of it, due to my eternal soul's experience. So let's let go and get clarity. Because let me say, the whole point of the breath out of the external is so that you can have clarity of your soul. It's there, waiting for you. There is not long-term difficulty of this now. Whereas we all searched for answers throughout our lifetimes with the questioning of, why am I here now? On all different layers and levels. And that's essentially a crying, sad feeling. That not one of us have felt, all of us have felt. Okay? Because our souls have come here for this time. We came into the energy field, into the consciousness, and we have been saying, this is hell on earth. Why am I here now? When will I feel my purpose? Now you can declare that, but like I tell you, if we don't learn, and our souls are here for that opening, how we allow the answers. So there is a lot of recognition to what we think is unanswered questions, and we're just here to suffer. Because of the density we were born into and had to grow out ourselves for this time of expansion with. So like I said in one of the videos I've done recently, Bravo. Depth of souls. Because it has been hell on earth. And maybe we haven't experienced the worst of it in our lives, and maybe we have. We certainly have seen it, heard it, couldn't believe it. And it only helped in this challenging awareness for that cry out. And that cry out sheds, pushes us forward, because we're meant to be here now. We're meant to open ourselves up, and life is going to shift and change. Amazing frickin' times. Like, you could think of us as seed pods with great change we open up to. Whole new world. So nothing we ever do will really be the same. That truth has always existed, because life is constant change. But now, this opening is, we're here now, the power and light of our souls. There is no going back. Evolution, baby. Yeah. Seed pods. Sprout up. There's a couple of minutes left. Guides of the highest light. Go forth and be true to who you are. Go forth and be who you are. And come back home. Maintain your lotus flower reservoir. God bless. God bless. So Guide's response is release all in your energy field that does not serve. Do that going forth, knowing that. And you have the assistance at your fingertips. There is very wise light networking we all have right now. Extraordinarily at depth. 4, the humble servant of one's true self. And with that, God bless. God bless. God bless. Inner eye at your chest. It hears, sees, knows, feels. Connect. Bye for now, everyone. That magic word, connect. Much love.